All right, so welcome all in the weekly presentation, weekly webinar, Market Masterclass with Religare. So in this webinar, we talk about the performance during the week, uh, the benchmark, sectoral, and the Nifty 50 counters, followed by our view for the next week for both Nifty and the banking index. And we finally conclude the session with some of these stocks which are looking bullish or bearish based on the technical charts uh, for your knowledge. And then we take a quick feedback poll, and finally we end the session with the Q&A round. So if you have any questions related to the presentation, any particular sector you wish to know uh, in detail, we can definitely discuss during that Q&A session. So you have this Q&A button in front of your screen, which you can use that uh, once we start the session. So आप सभी का स्वागत है हमारे वीकली वेबिनार में। जिस वेबिनार में बेसिकली हम करते क्या है, हम एक पहले प्रेजेंट करते हैं कि मार्केट में हुआ क्या पूरे हफ्ते, क्या इंपॉर्टेंट हाइलाइट्स थे मार्केट के और क्या एंटिसिपेटेड है नेक्स्ट वीक में निफ्टी और बैंकिंग इंडेक्स में, कौन से स्टॉक्स जो कि आप अपने वॉच लिस्ट में रख सकते हैं लॉन्ग और शॉर्ट पोजीशंस के लिए। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद disclaimer that it's an informational webinar. It's not a trading or investment recommendation. So before making any decision based on the information shared, please check with your financial advisor. All right, so this is it. This volatile or a lackluster week, you may say, after a sharp cut in the passing week, in the previous week. So both Nifty and Sensex ended almost on a flat note, marginally negative, and there was a tussle when it comes to the sectoral move. So auto, pharma, IT, metals, realty, not metals, media and realty were among the gaining side. At the same time, FMCG, metals, energy, and banking, they all ended in the red. Talking about the top 5 gainers, Nifty 50 basket, Trent topped the list with roughly around 12% gain. Then we have Kotak Bank, M&M, HCL Tech, and Apollo Hospital. So, a diverse list of stocks from across sectors. On the losing side, Titan, SBI Life, Tata Steel, Britannia, and Nestle India, these were the top 5 losers, during the week. So if you see this performance, I would say it is good comparing to what we had last week, means a very sharp cut of over 4% in the indices. So it's a kind of a breather that we had in the market during the passing week after that slump. So लास्ट वीक के देखिए डिक्लाइन के बाद इस हफ्ता आपने जैसे देखा कि मार्केट बहुत डल रहा। इंडेक्स के टर्म्स में अगर हम बात करें तो एक टाइट रेंज में ट्रेड हुआ। पहला दिन डेफिनेटली नेगेटिव था मार्केट का मंडे के दिन। उसके बाद के फॉलोइंग सेशन में हमने देखा कि मार्केट में एक रेंज पकड़ लिया। कोशिश हुई थी रिकवरी की भी, अटेम्प्ट की भी, बट वो कुछ खास डिसाइसिव रही नहीं। अनचेंज बेसिकली हम बंद हुए। और सेक्टर्स पे जिस तरीके से आप देख पा रहे हैं कि फार्मा, ऑटो, आईटी और रिटी, इन सभी ने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया। वहीं पे एफएमसीजी, मीडिया, एनर्जी एंड बैंकिंग इन नेगेटिव रहे। तो मिक्स ट्रेंड रहा कहीं ना कहीं देखिए सेक्टोरल फ्रंट पे। और वही टॉप गेनर्स एंड लूजर्स वो भी आपकी स्क्रीन पे है निफ्टी 50 के। नाउ how one should approach the market. So first of all, how we were seeing the markets last week when we've discussed on Friday. So we've discussed about 24,750 being the critical support area. So on the first day of the week itself, on Monday itself, we penetrated that low. Intraday, for intraday, we made a new low close to around 24,700 mark. But on the closing basis, we could manage to end above that 24,800 mark. So intraday, we penetrated this support, the first area of support, and after that, it's a very tight range that index continue to hover in. Now, how one should read this? See, as of now, bears are still under control. Why I'm saying this? Because in this entire recovery, whatever attempt Nifty has made for recovery, means closer to 25,200 zone, we saw, selling pressure in some of the other index heavyweight, which capped the upside. And we couldn't make any significant progress. So means it was not a very strong rebound that we saw on the market. So this indicates that bears are still under control. Downside also, like, select heavyweights from the IT. So if you remember last week, we've discussed about 3 sectors: IT, pharma, metal. So metals, they were volatile, but rest of the two, IT and pharma, they did exceptionally well. Despite the underperformance of TCS post number today, the other IT counters like Infosys and HCL, they have ended around the days high or with a decent gains. So this indicates that the sector has a strength. It's just that obviously we'll continue to see stock specific move based on the earning announcements, but the sector looks definitely looks positive. So how one should approach market seeing this structure that we have on the index? So until we break this faded yellow line, as you can see on the screen. Earlier, it was at 25,500, which was our resistance area, which we discussed last week. That has shifted to 25,300 now. So until we break and close above 25,300, the bias is likely to remain negative. Means we'll continue to see attempts of recovery, but it will continue to face resistance or selling pressure as and when we'll reach closer to that mark. Downside 24,700 will continue to act as a support, but the major support is now at this 24,300, slightly lower to where the 100 EMA is placed. Right? So view still sideways to negative. Why negative? Because we are not seeing strength in the recovery, and we are seeing limited participation even during the recovery phase. So this is not a great sign or for any meaningful bounce in the market. तो देखिए मार्केट में ये इंडेक्स का चार्ट है, निफ्टी का चार्ट है, और लास्ट वीक हम यहाँ पे थे. तो जब हमने बात की थी कि ट्रेंड लाइन ब्रेक हो गया, 20 EMA ब्रेक हो गए, सारी चीजें ब्रेक हो गई, तो अब क्या, तो अब 24,750 वो इम्पोर्टेंट सपोर्ट था. पहले ही दिन हमने उसको ब्रेक करने की कोशिश की, इंट्राडे में वो हुआ भी, बट उसके बाद होल्ड हो गया. उसके बाद से हम देख रहे हैं कि बहुत टाइट रेंज में ट्रेड हो रहा है, बट इसका कोई बेनिफिट नहीं है जब तक कि ये येलो लाइन के ऊपर नहीं जाता है बाजार. 25,300 के जब तक ऊपर नहीं जाता है तब तक रिकवरी में स्ट्रेंथ नहीं आएगी. तो मतलब ये बाउंस एक्सटेंड भी नहीं होगा. 25,300 अगर ब्रेक कर पाते हैं तभी जाके 25,500 600 के लेवल्स, मतलब थोड़ी सी रिकवरी वाला है, थोड़ा सा एक स्ट्रेंथ कह सकते हैं आप, मार्केट में दोबारा से रिक्लेम करने की कोशिश करेगा. अदरवाइज नीचे का खुला रहेगा जो डर, ये 24,700 पहला सपोर्ट और उसके बाद करीब 24,300 का. तो निफ्टी में एटलीस्ट अभी भी सेल ऑन राइज है जब तक कि आप 25,300 के ऊपर क्लोज नहीं करते हैं. तो होप इट इज क्लियर when it comes to Nifty. Now let's switch to banking. So banking also, we didn't see much action on the positive side except 1 or 2 days where day for yesterday in fact was the day where Bank Nifty tried to regain some strength, but today again ICICI, HDFC, major culprits during the market decline. So this clearly indicates that the underperformance which we are seeing in banking space is not going to subside anytime soon until we have some positive triggers from the earning front. Good part is that we are trading, closer to the lower band of this rising channel. So we have respected this channel. As you can see, this line 1, 2, 3. This time we didn't even come closer to that level, and this time this is the fourth and fifth time. So it's not that we always respect to a uptrending channel is not necessary, but as of now we are still seeing that every time it dips closer to that mark on the closing basis at least, or maybe in the next day it manages to reclaim that channel. So until we break this, we expect this lackluster move to continue. So unlike Nifty, where the trend is clearly bearish, and we have clear indication that it might make an attempt of a breakdown below 24,750, 700 levels next week. Here, tone is mixed. Here, since we are already at the support, at the 100 EMA we have already tested, and it's a very tight range consolidation that we are seeing around the lower band of this rising channel. So we might not see the underperformance in banking, even if Nifty corrects further from the current level, right? But having said that, since we are into earning season now, obviously there could be surprises on the earning front. So any negative surprise might even derail this uptrending channel and push the index lower. So be prepared on that front. So until 52,300 is we break at least this yellow line, which is around 52,000. At least this level is very critical. Major hurdle at 52,300, and once we break that, then 53,000, this upper band of this trend line resistance we might retest. Downside 50,100, almost closer to the previous low, is the critical support area, and if it breaks, then 200 EMA. Right? So okay, so बैंकिंग की अब बात करते हैं. जैसे कि हमने निफ्टी की बात की, तो देखिए बैंकिंग में एक चीज पहले से ही हो रही है कि यहाँ पे पहले से बिकवाली थी, जबकि निफ्टी कंपैरेटिवली बेटर परफॉर्म कर रहा था, यहाँ पे अंडर परफॉर्मेंस चल रही थी. जैसे कि आप देख पा रहे हैं कि एक राइज भी बहुत स्ट्रांग हुआ था, उसी की तरह डिक्लाइन भी बहुत स्ट्रांग हुआ. मतलब आप 50,500 से 54,500 तक गए थे, और उसके बाद दोबारा से आप उसी तरीके से नीचे भी आए. अभी आप उन्हीं लेवल्स के पास, ये सपोर्ट एरिया है आपका, ट्रेंड लाइन या आपकी मूविंग एवरेजेस इस सपोर्ट के लिए बेसिकली इंडिकेट करती हैं. तो उन्हीं लेवल्स के पास आके आप कंसोलिडेट कर रहे हैं. अब क्या हो सकता है यहाँ से? अब दो ही चीजें हो सकती हैं, या तो ये बैंकिंग नीचे जाएगा या फिर ऊपर जाएगा. अभी इंडिकेशन क्या है? अभी इंडिकेशन ये है कि एक बाउंस या फिर एक साइडवेज टोन ज्यादा रह सकता है, क्योंकि आप सपोर्ट के पास हो. निफ्टी के कंपैरिजन में शायद ये उतना ज्यादा डिक्लाइन ना करे यहाँ से, राइट? तो ये इंडिकेशन अभी तक है. 50,100 इंपॉर्टेंट सपोर्ट रहेगा. उससे पहले बेसिकली देखिए, यहीं पे कहीं आप ट्रेंड लाइन ड्रॉ करेंगे तो आपको ये करीब 500-600 के पास भी आपको एक सपोर्ट नजर आएगा. बट जो मेन की है वो 50,100 के पास है. उसके नीचे गए तो फिर आपका ये रेड लाइन देख रहे हैं आप, वो रीटेस्ट होगी, राइट? प्राइवेट बैंकिंग मेजर्स, ICICI, in fact, it's a fresh decline in ICICI today. After this attempt of bounce. So ICICI, I doubt that's going to make any meaningful contribution to the recovery until we have something on the earning front. HDFC is comparatively okay. Axis also okay. Kotak is comparatively better, but since it has less weightage in the index, so it need to perform extraordinarily. IndusInd Bank looks weakest among all. So here, with mixed trend within the banking space, I feel that until we have, earning announcement from at least one or two heavyweights, I doubt that there is going to be any meaningful up move or down move in the index. ठीक है, तो अभी हमको रिजल्ट का वेट करना पड़ेगा. इसके क्लैरिटी के लिए, बट एज ऑफ नाउ आपको 50,100 ध्यान रखना है। जब तक वो होल्ड हो रहा है तब तक साइडवेज का टोन बना रहेगा, और कोई इंडिकेशन भी नहीं है टू बी ऑनेस्ट प्राइवेट बैंकिंग मेजर से कि कोई बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग रिकवरी या फिर रिवर्सल का, चाहे वो आईसीआई से है चाहे एचडीएफसी हो। उन्हीं की वेटेज है, और उनकी तरफ से भी तो कोई ऐसा अटेम्प्ट दिख नहीं रहा है, राइट। सो ऊपर पे 52,300, 53,000 ये रेजिस्टेंस रहेंगे, वहीं पे 50,100 के नीचे 49,400 तक के लेवल्स खुल जाएंगे, राइट। अब आते हैं when the market view is negative, how we should approach. So it's not that all sectors have turned negative. If you remember last week also, we have discussed about top 3 sectors which one should focus. IT, pharma, metals. So metal is slightly volatile, but still, we are seeing positive traction, especially in the select names. IT and pharma, they're still okay. So we expect this tone to continue in the coming week as well. But otherwise, also we are seeing stock from other sectors, be it from the capital goods space like ABB, Siemens. They are doing well. Then we have weakness in FMCG major like ITC. Reliance is not showing any sign of recovery. So last week itself, Reliance was down 9%. This week around another 1%. So इन सब के बीच में भी कुछ स्टॉक्स ऐसे हैं जो कि आप पॉजिटिव साइड पे देख सकते हैं। द फर्स्ट नेम दैट वी हैव ऑन द लिस्ट इज दीपक नाइट्रेट. So why Deepak Nitrate from the chemical basket? So as you can see, the stock was trading in a range, broader consolidation range. There was an attempt of recovery or a breakout, but after the initial attempt, it again turned, lackluster in a very tight range. So this is in fact a pivot, a fresh pivot, a buying pivot for those who have missed the opportunity earlier during the breakout. And it's comparatively better. Why I'm saying better? Because at least now we have some stop losses. Earlier the stop losses were here when the stock witnessed a break, because we didn't had any consolidation range prior to that. So the stop loss, significant stop was placed here. But now since we have this higher base forming, we expect maybe it might take a week or two based on the earning days and the other factors. Maybe market may continue to correct, but at least we have a higher base now. So this zone, as you can see here, this yellow line is offering support to Deepak Nitrate. So closer to around 2800, 2750 zone, we have multiple supports in Deepak Nitrate. So one can look to utilize this opportunity to accumulate quality stocks which are trading in a very tight range closer to the record highs, because maybe in the next leg of the up move they might outperform. तो देखिए दीपक नाइट्रेट पहला नाम है जो कि लिस्ट ऑफ स्टॉक में जो आपके फोकस में होना चाहिए। और ये क्यों मैं बोल रहा हूँ, बिकॉज काफी लंबे टाइम के कंसोलिडेशन जिसको इसने एंड किया था, और क्या होता है कंसोलिडेशन एंड होने के बाद जिस डायरेक्शन में ब्रेकआउट आता है उस डायरेक्शन में स्टॉक मूव करता है या इंडेक्स मूव करता है। यहाँ पे क्या हुआ कि इनिशियल अप मूव के बाद एक दोबारा से पॉज, एक कंसोलिडेशन आ गया, राइट। बट इस पूरे कंसोलिडेशन में इस रेंज में जाने में प्राइस वाइज कुछ खास करेक्शन नहीं हुआ, मार्जिनल ड्रॉप हुआ, और ये अपने सपोर्ट के पास बहुत टाइट रेंज में कंसोलिडेट कर रहा है। तो ये एक अपॉर्चुनिटी दे सकता है आपको, एक्यूमुलेट करने की बेसिकली अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रही है, जिसको यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि जब भी मार्केट में रिकवरी का टोन आएगा तो शायद ये आपको आउट परफॉर्म करता हुआ नजर आए, राइट। सो फर्स्ट नेम दीपक नाइट्रेट, which should be on your focus. Next on the list, a negative stock, a clear cut distribution pattern breakdown, head and shoulder. Some of you might have heard this word before. So basically this is the left shoulder, this is the head, this is the right shoulder, and this is the neckline area of the pattern, and this was the breakdown. So in a market like this, where we are saying that until we reclaim 25,300, the bias is likely to remain negative. So one should have at least few counters you know, in their trading positions on short side as well. Either you are hedging your position through index options if you are trading more into index heavyweights, or through stock option if you are planning in trade or you have any existing trade already, right? So LIC housing, uh, after this prolonged distribution phase, has finally witnessed a breakdown. Stock also slipped below the long-term average, so another negative. And then from the last 4 5 trading session, it's trading in a very tight range. So there's a possibility that we might see further correction in the stocks. So it could be one candidate which one can look to go short in. All right. So देखिए यहाँ पे LIC हाउसिंग दूसरा नाम है जो शॉर्टिंग कैंडिडेट की तरफ से होता है। एकदम दीपक ने रेट पॉजिटिव साइड बात की, तो क्यों शॉर्टिंग? बिकॉज एक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन पैटर्न जिसे हेड एंड शोल्डर पैटर्न होता है उसका एक ब्रेकडाउन हुआ है, साथ ही साथ अपने लॉन्ग टर्म एवरेजेस के नीचे भी गया है। तो सारे फैक्टर्स इंडिकेट कर रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे नेगेटिविटी बढ़ सकती है आने वाले हफ्ते में। तो यहाँ पे आपको शॉर्टिंग के लिए अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल सकती है। तो इसको आप अगर मार्केट कंडीशन अलाउ करती है तो डेफिनेटली शॉर्टिंग के लिए आप देख सकते हैं इसको। लास्ट आते हैं लिस्ट में IT as a pack, like we have discussed earlier also about Infosys, HCL Tech, TCS. TCS this week, though post numbers, is witnessing a dip, but I doubt that we are going to see any major decline in TCS also. But having said that, the IT basket, we used to recommend that one should refrain from any aggressive longs in mid-cap ID names. So I still stick to that view, but we still have few exceptions within the mid-cap ID basket also. So LTIM is one such name. So why LTIM? So as you can see, again, prolonged consolidation phase followed by a breakout, and now we are consolidating around the trend line area, the breakout area of the same. A kind of a pivot formation that is going on in LTIM as well. तो देखिए IT एज अ पैक की पॉजिटिविटी की बात हम काफी टाइम से करते आ रहे हैं कि मार्केट में गिरावट पे भी जिसमें स्ट्रेंथ होगी तो ऑटोमेटिकली जब मार्केट में इंप्रूवमेंट होगी सेंटिमेंट्स की या फिर जब भी रिकवरी आएगी तो वो सेक्टर आउट परफॉर्म करेगा। तो उनमें से एक IT है। अभी तक ज्यादातर हम बात करते थे कि IT मेजर्स पे फोकस करिए, वो लेस वॉलेटाइल हैं और अच्छा परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं। मिड कैप IT में भी कुछ एक ऐसे नाम है जैसे कि टेक महिंद्रा, LTIM परसिस्टेंट, जहाँ पे की स्ट्रेंथ है। और LTIM क्यों मैंने यहाँ चार्ट इसका दिखाया है आपको, बिकॉज एक काफी मेजर कंसोलिडेशन के बाद एक पॉज था बेसिकली। ये काफी टाइम से चलता आ रहा है, ऑलमोस्ट 4 5 हफ्ते हो गए हैं, जो कि अपने नेकलाइन एरिया जहाँ से ब्रेकआउट हुआ था उसके बाद वहीं पे ही ये कंसोलिडेट कर रहा है। तो पॉसिबिलिटी ये ज्यादा है कि यहाँ से एक अटेम्प्ट करे अपने रिकॉर्ड हाइस की तरफ जाने की, राइट? सो this is how one should position their trades both on long and short side. So just to sum it up our view, Nifty stone is still bearish, 25,300. That's the make or break area. Until we decisively reclaim that, the bias is likely to remain on negative side. 24,700, once we break, then market may drift toward 24,300 also. Banking, comparatively better. Why? Because it has already trading closer to the major support zone, so it might remain in a tight range, or at least it should not underperform even if the market corrects. So here in banking, one should not put any aggressive trade until we have some clarity. Private banking measures are also not showing any sign of recovery, except few names. These are exceptions. On stock specific front, we talked about two stocks which one can look to accumulate. One is Deepak Nitrate, other is LTIM. And for the shorting side, अगर किसी को short करने के लिए देखना है, then LIC Housing Finance is the name, right? So I hope it is clear to all, and now we'll have a quick feedback. So please share your feedback, and then you can start using this Q&A button to post your questions. तो देखिए, जो भी आपका फीडबैक है प्लीज आप फिल कर दीजिए, और उसके बाद कोई सवाल है आपका, वो आप लिख कर पूछ सकते हैं। Q&A बटन जो आपकी स्क्रीन पर है उसको यूज करते हुए। और स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चंस यूजुअली हम लोग अवॉइड करते हैं सो दैट वी कैन एंड द सेशन ऑन टाइम, और कंस्ट्रक्टिव हो सबके लिए। मींस अगर हम स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक चले जाएंगे तो फिर ये अनएंडिंग हो जाएगा सेशन, और कुछ मीनिंगफुल भी नहीं होगा। बिकॉज सेक्टर्स की बात करेंगे तो एटलीस्ट वील हैव सम व्यू टू डिस्कस और टू एक्ट अपॉन एटलीस्ट नेक्स्ट वीक। Okay, so we are almost done. Okay, so we have questions also in queue now. So let's start with Q&A. Okay, so first question from Mr. Aya, that view on IT sector and cement sector. Can we do new investments? So IT, post TCS number, the decline that we are seeing, or the commentary that we have heard so far, is indicating uh, no clear sign of recovery yet, especially in the BSFI space, which is very critical. I'm talking from the investment point of view here. And so what it means, it might take few more quarters for clarity in the IT sector. But this is the phase where one should have look to have investments, because once we have the clarity, obviously the stock prices can touch a new high or maybe higher. So you can definitely look to make investments, provided your time horizon is over 1 year at least. It would be great if the time horizon is 2 years, 3 years, but at least it should be 1 year. Cement, also we are seeing the short term. If you talk about the tone, it is mixed. In fact, some of these cement counters, they were inching lower. But as a pack overall, we feel that it's a good time to start accumulating at least quality names. So Ultratech, we have seen decent correction from the highs. Then we have Dalmia Bharat also, which is done with the consolidation. Looks okay. So these are some of these top names which one can look to accumulate, provided your time horizon, again, I would say, because short term they might continue to trade lackluster. So with a view of at least 1 year or maybe more than that, you can definitely look to invest in both IT and cement space. Okay, so next we have a question from Pujajit about mid cap and small cap space. So interestingly, I've observed that like today, when the markets were trading lackluster, the mid cap and small cap could manage to end in green. But one should not read too much into positive data until we have you know uh, unlike, if you remember that 2-3 months ago, uh, I'm sure that the stocks, if you have in your portfolios, especially the mid cap, they were having great time. Means every day we were seeing 3-4% kind of a rise in some stock or the other. So even if the index is ending positive, we are not seeing a similar kind of attraction. So 1% kind of a gain, 0.5% kind of a gain is something which is sufficient enough to keep the index in green, but it's not very decisive participation that we are seeing so far. So I feel that with the beginning of the earnings season, it becomes more critical to be cautious about your mid cap and small cap trades. Why I'm saying this? Any disappointment, from the earning front, can trigger sharp sell-off in those mid-cap and small-cap names, right? So, because they have had exceptional run in the recent years, and now they are trading in a range, trading lackluster. Maybe it is because of that, there could be anticipation that we may see some catch up in the earnings and the price may hold. Any disappointment on that front might result in correction. So as of now, I would say that mid cap and small cap, be very selective and do not add to your loss making position uh, before the numbers. At least note down the dates when stock in your portfolio, the dates before that. When the results are scheduled, and make sure that you have a clarity before the numbers that if something like this happens, I'll be reducing my position or I'll be adding to my position. So that way one should plan their trades in mid cap and small cap during the earnings. Okay, next we have on the auto sector. So auto, yes. So while we are saying that IT, metal, pharma, they are strong. It's not that the other sectors are outrightly weak or we are seeing, uh, you know, uh, anticipating a correction. It's just that their performance after this phenomenal move is uh, not giving any clear indication. So auto also falls into the same category. Means if you see within the auto basket, you'll see a couple of names like M&M, which is holding strong. Then at the same time, Tata Motors was on the back foot last week, though we are seeing some bounce now. And then we have stocks like Maruti, Eicher, which are trading in a range. So as a sector, I feel that's more of like consolidation, which is going on in the auto space, and it might continue. So again, I would say that within this space, since the earnings season has started, focus on the names wherein we are seeing relatively higher strength. It means the markets are anticipating something positive in the earnings, right? So from the trading point of view, also one should stick with the performers and avoid the underperformers. Okay, so next we have Mr. Ajay Gupta. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gupta. And so charts, Deepak, LIC are discussed today are weekly or daily? See, Deepak Nitrate is weekly, LTIM is weekly, LIC is daily. Yes, LIC is daily and the other two are weekly. How to know which sector is best for short-term trading? This is Pariyotama Kushwaha. So, see, at any given point of time, let's say, you are looking for sector which are uh, good for trading. Simple way to look at it is whenever the markets are nifty, basically how a sector performing vis-a-vis to nifty, that's the only criteria that one should have, right? There could be permutation combination ki, we are at the support or something like that and it might outperform. I would say that the sector which is already outperforming, so just to give you an example, that we have been seeing IT, metals, and pharma. Uh, why? Because when the Nifty is down and witnessing correction, they are holding at their record highs. It's a clear outperformance. So even if the IT might not perform, means it might not see a new high, but its participation during the decline is going to be less in comparison to the others, right? So the best way to is look at it is if Nifty falls 1%, how much this sector declines, or whether it is at record high or not, or closer to the record highs or not, especially if you are looking for long trades. Completely reverse, if you are looking for short opportunity, look for the sectors and stocks which are closer to their lows, 52-week low, or underperforming the index. This is how one should, in a glance, check short-term sectors for short-term trading. So hope it answers your query. So mid cap, small cap, again a similar query that we have already answered. Okay, next, Mr. Rajesh Lal, citing the result started won't be more accessible to refund from any purchase. So Mr. Rajesh has very important and right question regarding this scenario, that the earnings season has started. So should we refrain from buying any or making any fresh trade? So there is one way to avoid unexpected. So there are two type of traders. One who like to speculate that I'm anticipating good numbers from the TCS, so I shall be like